and welcome back here live from the center of the exhibition floor at the 69th ESOMAR Congress in New Orleans. The afternoon coffee break is about to start, and that means we have an exciting show coming up for you on Channel 3. For the next 90 minutes, we're going to talk about everything that has to do about being young in the market research industry. We're going to learn more about the Young ESOMAR Society, the YES. We're going to see two of the last two actually, of the 8 YES competition pictures that made it out onto New Orleans. We're going to talk with all the participants and the nominees for the Corporate Young Program Award. And finally, we're going to have a look into the future and talk about what skills you need to be a top researcher in 2017. That's all coming up. Stay tuned, please, and let's segue into our first topic, the Young ESOMAR Society. And if you've no clue what that is all about, have a look at this video.
What do you think market research is?
If I hear that for the first time, I would think...
market research is searching for a globally problem.
I think that market research is a way to find out how you can sell things in a sneaky way.
In real terms, market research is the blend of science and art that transforms information into insight. Think of the Nintendo Wii, Pringles, and Nespresso, all developed through research.
How far off was your own definition of market research? Different, wasn't it? There is surely a lot more about market research under the surface than you think. Did you know, for example, that the first famous market researcher was Florence Nightingale, who used statistics to lobby for better military healthcare in the Crimean War in 1855? She also invented the pie chart. Research isn't just a desk job. Top Vegas show Cirque du Soleil needed to better understand millennials.
In order to fully understand the millennial experience in Las Vegas, we explored and interacted with a variety of participants over a 72-hour period, in real time. This started with us picking them up at the airport and conducting in-limo arrival interviews.
Yeah, like I said, you guys are more than welcome to just come party with us, really. I mean...
We then followed up with these people at periodic intervals. We also spoke with staff at nightclubs, pool parties, concierge desks, and box offices. We wanted to explore the issue from all angles.
Market research looks at an incredibly diverse array of subjects, including love. Did you know that 1 in 4 Americans prefers spending Valentine's Day with a pet rather than a partner? Research is not just limited to addressing business problems. Opinion research covers a whole lot more. Governments use opinion research to better understand citizens' needs and adjust public policies and services. The single largest opinion survey in the world is the Eurobarometer, conducted for the European Union. The Eurobarometer conducts between 500 and 600,000 interviews a year across 28 countries and is worth more than 10 million euros a year. Social research is an even broader category than opinion research. Think about attitudes to gay marriage, how a disease is being fought in a specific region, or how citizens in a particular country view the need for regime change. These are just a few of the many examples that illustrate the extraordinary impact that market research has on business and society. And we haven't even touched upon fields like pharmaceutical research, or techniques like social media research, mobile tracking, analytics, or big data applications.
Spot your subject? These are just some of the degrees that research CEOs and directors from AOL, the Coca-Cola Company, Unilever, the Danone Company, Yahoo, and Ipsos have. This market is worth more than $60 billion a year, the same as the global Wi-Fi market or the recorded music industry. If you're a curious person with an open mind, then a career in research will be incredibly rewarding.
I love market research.
Thank you.
Does this sound like you? ESOMAR, the World Association for Market Research, has just the thing for you. Young ESOMAR Society is an international community of students and recent graduates created to help you learn more about market research, gain practical experience, and expand your knowledge and network. Join Young ESOMAR Society. Say yes to market research. Visit yes www.esomar.org.
Yes.esomar.org. Welcome back here live in the studio in New Orleans, where I'm now joined by two of the younger and brighter minds of the ESOMAR headquarters in Amsterdam. Neda and Eva, welcome.
Thank you.
And Eline Meijer van Putten, you both work in the marketing communications and market strategy field of ESOMAR.
That's correct.
And you guys initiated the Young ESOMAR Society that we just learned about.
Yes.
Why did we need such a thing?
Well, since a couple of years, we actually, and I think the whole industry is telling us that we need the future. We need young talent in our industry, and at the moment, we are looking for ways to actually connect the current group with the young people, because they're basically the future of our industry. So that's the main reason.
Yeah. Trying to connect the young in the market research community?
Yeah, we basically identified that there's a gap within a bit of a gap within the market research industry of how to address and facilitate young people getting into the profession. Basically, when you come out of school or you're basically at the early stages of your career, it's extremely difficult to decide, is this profession for me or which profession is for me? So we thought, okay, the industry needs an initiative, a global initiative, which can help young people to gain a practical taste of the profession and also see all the various opportunities that a profession offers. The market research is an industry that some argue doesn't advertise itself very well, especially to young people. A lot of people say, well, young people don't know what it is. You study statistics, you study market research in university, but they don't understand that it's so much more than what they study. Exactly. So there's so many different career paths you can do. There's so many different types of research that you can do. And we thought, well, we have to find a way to show young people that practically.
So let's embark on a journey and find a solution to close this gap.
Exactly.
That ended up as being the Young ESOMAR Society. What is that exactly? We saw it briefly in the video, but tell us a little bit what it does.
So YES is a platform for young professionals, recent graduates, but also students to explore what the opportunities are in terms of career. So we actually have two different target groups. Well, basically, just to take a step back, when we were thinking about, okay, what is it that we can do to fill this gap, we as millennials actually sat down and we thought, okay, what are the key elements? What is it that we need as millennials to help us? So we came up with different key elements. So that's learning, getting exposure, networking, and also to build on your CV, because as a young professional and student, you're always looking for ways to get that.
Extra opportunities to stand out.
Yeah. And while we identified these key elements, we were thinking, okay, there are basically two different needs, two different target groups, students and recent graduates, but also the young professionals. So that's why we created two different types of memberships. Because
this is a membership network, right? We're still trying to define what it is. So you become a member of the Young ESOMAR Society. Is that the same as an ESOMAR membership, or how does it differ?
No, it's a tailored package for young people. Basically, you could be coming out of university. You could also be already within the industry. The difference is that it's really tailored to activate you within the industry. So it's what we call the active package. It gives you the opportunity to participate at our events, help us organize events. We give you the exclusive opportunity and coaching to get published on our online magazine. We give you the opportunity to use our job board and to connect, most importantly, connect with professionals within market research. So it's really a professional network to kind of help you get into the industry. And it is a membership.
Is it paid?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But it's of course, depending on where you are, it might not be a sum that is manageable by everybody. It's 50 euros for the starters. These are the younger
students
members,
and
the pros is 100 euros.
Okay.
Basically, you can see which package fits for you, and it really is a program which is meant to. You can tailor it yourself. You can see which things you would like to develop in most, and you can also just kind of create your own experience if you would like to gain more exposure by being published, if you would like to gain more exposure by getting practical experience in your CV. It really is it just gives you all kinds of options and you can make your own package. The difference with individual membership, of course, comes back to a lot of the professional standards, services, directory, things like that. So it really is tailored.
It's a much smaller stepping stone, so
yes,
to speak.
it really is the first step into ESOMAR and into the market research industry.
Well, smart. Sounds very smart to have that. And let's explore a little bit more of the activities, because you talked on the objectives. For example, getting more exposure. Well, I think the Yes competition that we've been covering is a great example of that.
Yeah.
What other stuff do I get involved with once I join Yes?
So in order to become active, we have different ways of doing that, because I mean they are different people. So one is, for example, that they can write for our Research Connect blog, which is
because I saw a very
yeah.
fresh website all around a key blog with,
Yes.
with latest insights.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and they can basically write about anything that they like, but there has to be a relation with market research, of course, and it gives them the exposure to the world. Basically, if they want to share something, this is the way to do it.
Okay.
Another thing that they can do is participate in the Yes competition, where they can do their pitch.
Because is that going to continue beyond this Congress?
We hope so. We're not sure yet, but
Okay.
we will see how the experiment goes this year. But it seems like it's a really successful initiative.
Yeah.
Basically, we're hoping to facilitate the young people to do different types of initiatives. If they would like to set up a career event, we'll connect them to their local market research network. We'll connect them to the ESOMAR representatives in their country. We'll send them materials for the event. We'll really try and facilitate them and help them with whatever resources ESOMAR has in whatever initiative they're interested in. We're able to connect them with professionals who can give them career advice. We're also able to coach them and do blogging, for example. You know, if somebody really wants to write but doesn't know how or what, we're also willing to help that. So it really is about kind of tailoring what you would like, and then it's also about connecting with ESOMAR and the ESOMAR network and seeing how we can help them really get the most out of it.
Yeah, and also the other way around, because these people, the young people, they have a lot of ideas and a lot of feedback, but also they're so innovative and creative, so they can actually also help the current industry and the other way around, because they don't have that much experience yet. So it's a nice way to actually join forces between these two age groups. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So there's basically only one thing left to do if you're watching and you're under 30, because
Yes.
that's the edge of a young professional.
If you're
right?
30 years or younger.
How strict are you on that age restriction?
Quite strict.
Quite
Yeah,
strict. Okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't hope you're 29 in 10 months, because then you're a little bit too late. But if you're under 30, this is the place to go to sign up. Yes.esomar.org. That's where we go.
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, Neda and Aline, thank you very much for exploring a bit the new young ESOMAR society.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy Congress.
Thank you.
And with that, I move back to our little interactivity corner in here, where I'm joined again once by Julia Gasperi. We saw you yesterday here explaining everything about the ESOMAR ping pong online video question and answer thing. For the viewers who just joined us new here, well, take Marcel's mic.
Yep.
Can you in 30 seconds explain to us what the idea behind this concept was?
Yes, absolutely. So the ESOMAR Ping is a social experience happening on Twitter and Instagram, which allows anyone who's following us from anywhere to answer questions that have been asked on the stream, or to ask their own questions. So if you're interested and have a burning question that you would like answered, ESOMAR Ping is the place to go to.
Now, and we're here next to Marcel van Overveld, who knows everything and anything that's happening online, our social media moderator. So Marcel, what's going on at hashtag ESOMAR Ping?
Well, Julia and I decided to show you, in this case, the Instagram account of ESOMAR HQ. Where
we're talking about youth, right? So we should be on Instagram.
We shouldn't be on Twitter. You know, Twitter is for the old people by now. Or we should Snapchat or something. But we decided to go for Instagram in this case. And Julia and her team uploaded some nice videos where actually the questions are being asked, correct? So we have a few examples, so maybe we can put that on screen.
It's on screen. This is Niels Schillewaard, one of the council members of ESOMAR. You actually got him in front of the camera as well. Cool.
Yes, I did, and he actually asked he answered a great question by Nadine from Viacom, which was all about understanding applications of artificial intelligence in market research. And Niels asked a rather tricky question. He asked if you, as a millennial, could bring back from the ESOMAR conference a source of inspiration for your company or your boss, what would it be?
Oui.
So I'm still looking for
I know
someone.
the answer. Channel 3. Can I have watch Channel 3? Go on demand and watch all the recordings, right?
That's a great answer.
That
Thank
would
you
my
for
answer
that.
be. But now I have to come up with a new question, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll ping pong with you a little later. Cool.
Fantastic.
Julia, is this over now, or where is this going? Is this continuing?
No. So it's still live. Anyone can still join. We don't actually have a stop to it, so it can go on virtually forever. I'm still going to go out and look for other people who might be interested to join on the spot. But I invite anyone who is watching from home to ask their own questions and answer the questions that they find online.
Cool. Well, thanks for this little update, and I wish you all of the best and luck with this campaign.
Thank you.
And I think I see you in 45 minutes on my panel, right? See you soon.
Bye.
With that, I'm going back to my desk, which is now filled with a bunch of what we call the youngsters here in New Orleans. We've looked for some young speakers, and we found one. Till Winkler, you're a senior research manager at Scopus in Germany. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you
and
very
you're
much.
actually you're doing a talk, and I quickly wrote down when that was. It's tomorrow, right? At 9:35 on Channel 1.
Yes.
People can actually see you talk about a user experience in the digital age. And then next to you, we have two students, but you have to help me because we literally just pulled you off the floor.
Yeah.
So what's your name and where you're from?
My name is Daniel from Colombia. I'm from Universidad de La Sabana.
I'm Cassidy. I'm from the University of Georgia.
And what brings you to Congress here? You're in the bright red t-shirts as I'm a student guide. What are you guys doing?
Basically, we help with the logistics. We're here to learn, to get to meet new people. And that's about it, yeah.
So SSI sponsors our registration, and we get to come to ESOMAR and volunteer, and we get to network and learn and meet each other and meet other people from around the world.
And what has it been like so far to walk around here?
I think it's been very encouraging. Everybody in the industry seems to be really supportive of the young people here, and they all want to hear what we have to say, and they're also willing to share their advice. So it's been really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Till, and I think you're proof of that we all want to hear what the youngsters have to say, because you actually submitted a paper and got selected to go on stage.
I did.
At what moment in time did you think, well, I'm going to write it all up and see if I get there?
Now, this sounds very corny, but I actually, with a colleague of mine, we discovered that market research is sort of conservative, and with all the UX teams and designers out there and stuff like that, a lot of things are changing, and it kind of bothered us. So we figured out new ways to maybe improve that, and I actually just wanted to get the word out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the community, just tell them, I think we found the solution, young and stupid as we are. So just get it out there, and I think they liked it. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Exactly. But you took another way to do that. Instead of the yes competition that we devote a lot of it, you didn't just record a 1-minute video, you wrote a paper. How did you get your environment, your boss, so to speak, to grant you the time and effort to do this?
Well, actually I have to applaud him for doing that, or allowing me to do that, because he's very open-minded and he understands that the concept of what I'm talking about is very young, and he just lets me do it. He doesn't, there's CEOs out there who go in front and just be like, all right, I'm going to take over. He's not doing that. He read it, he liked it, he tried to understand it, and then he just let me go my way. He's actually here just watching me, and he just
So maybe we should give him a little shout out. This is Scopus in Germany.
That is very right.
There you go. Now, let's broaden this a bit. This is the market research industry, the insights industry. What excites you of this industry? Why did you want to move into this field?
So I'm a psychologist. I mastered in psychology at 24, and there's two things that get me really excited about market research. First of all, you observe people. People are so complex. Like, why do you like this suit? Why do you buy this suit? Why do you everything is so complex, and understanding it is interesting. And the second part is you always test new ideas, new products, right? You never test old things. So whenever something new comes out,
you're always on the forefront of innovation.
Yeah, exactly. Something new comes out, Amazon Echo or something else, you're there. So you're understanding people while you're always getting new input. And I think that's really exciting. And you get paid for that.
Exactly. So that's your dream job.
Yeah, sort of.
How's that for you? What are you studying at the moment?
I'm currently an undergraduate student. I'm doing computer engineering and marketing.
Okay.
And well, this is like kind of the combination of both, marketing and research.
All right. So are you considering a career in the insights industry?
Absolutely. Like, I think it's fascinating. I'm a very people-oriented person, and then marketing and research is about people. It's about like studying people and understanding people and trying to make them happy. I like it a lot.
Cool. And for you, what is your background?
I'm getting my master's in marketing research, so
like spot
yes,
on.
it's very concentrated, which is we're very fortunate to be a part of the program at the University of Georgia. But what excites me most about marketing research is that we really are helping businesses make better world for consumers. So we really are part of a bigger picture.
Cool, that's true. And that is beauty. And we talked a lot about this earlier today, about the entrepreneurial spirit in the industry. And this was one of the key findings that the big CEOs are seeing. That if we want to attract the young, we have to talk about impact, right? How is that at your company?
The impact?
Well, we learned is that at CREA, they give like 20% of time to do good, to work on good projects.
Oh, okay. We don't do that because we have too much work to do, but I guess what we do is we just allow people to bring in thoughts. It's always been that way. I've been there for 6 years now, and they're always encouraged people to think. And when they do, they provide resources, they provide money, they provide time. And it's not a 20% fix, do whatever you want, but it's like, hey, I got a great idea, go for it.
And do it.
It's actually how I got there where I am now, by always just having new ideas. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't, but it's like fail fast, fail cheap, right? Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because if you keep the ideas in your head, then they're never going to come
exactly.
out.
But it's very open. We try to encourage new employees and colleagues just to speak up, bring up the ideas, and if they fail fast, fail cheap, and just you figure out where it goes.
And you learn from it.
Nobody really knows where the whole thing is going. You're just going to have to try to find your way. And so our company just encourages us to do so.
Now, if we zoom in a little bit on your experience here in New Orleans, because this video is going to go out to future students who might want to apply for the same program, or future young professionals who are considering whether they should or should not submit a paper. Can you share a little bit of what it's like, what's positive about the experience of being here for these 2-3 days?
Well, definitely as a student who will be graduating soon, just being able to network with professionals in the industry, job offers, getting an idea of what's out there, what new technologies you might want to be learning, what companies are interested in you, just lots of different learning opportunities, and also just meeting other students who are interested in the same thing as you and just geeking out together.
Geeking out together,
Yeah.
that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Nice one. And for you?
It's been amazing, like, to learn to meet these people with so much experience in the field. Like, we just go to them.
Do you feel that people are open for you to talk to you as a student?
Yes, many of them, they are, and they are really keen to tell their experiences, and they answer all of our questions. We just say a lot of questions to them. We ask them.
What kind of questions are you asking when you're here?
We ask, like, oh, what do you think about this topic, or what is going to be the new trends, or what do you think we should focus on, or like, you think we're on the right track, or how do you think this is going to be? So, and they really
content-driven discussions.
Yes.
Okay.
Academic rigor.
Exactly. Geeking out.
Yeah.
And what is it for you like as a young professional, Till? What is it like to be part of this?
I think the conversations we have here and the discussions are very open. It's not too salesy, you know what I mean? There's no barriers. So I talk to clients, I talk to colleagues, I talk to young students, and it was all very open. And so like this, second of all, the ESOMAR conference is very professional. So they just make room for you to meet people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I stand here.
No. We're making room for the online people to meet us as well,
yeah,
right? We're
exactly.
extending the same principle.
Yeah, but it's very just an exchange in the community because, like in our company, you know, it only comes from just talking, speaking up. You're like, I have an idea. What do you think about that? That's kind of what the conference is in a bigger scale. Worldwide people speaking up. You're like, I think I have an idea, and I think that's just amazing. Like I've never experienced. Seriously, I've done that for a while, but I've never experienced so many interesting conversations and presentations as I did here.
Wow. Well, this is a great promotion for Congress next year in Amsterdam. It's close to home, right? A little bit more travel for you guys, but I wish and I hope we all see you back within the ESOMAR community. By the way, you're still under 30, right?
Yes.
You're already a member of the Young ESOMAR Society?
I am, yes.
And for you guys?
Not yet.
Not yet. Go check it out, the
But
Yes
soon.
Lounge, yes.esomar.org. That's where you guys should all connect. Thank you very much for sharing your
Thank you for having
experiences
us.
and have a great Congress.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's go back to Marcel. Marcel, this is the rough times, right? Because Europe went to sleep. It's the US out there, and we always come here to check with you. I see you got Liz Norman hanging already, so that's exciting for later on.
Yeah, Liz is actually recruiting some students, I guess, because that's what
she's
she's all
paying
about.
attention.
So she's paying attention. So that's you know, I just warned the students in the tweet that they should give their best.
Exactly. Well, do we have any activity on Instagram regarding the ESOMAR ping that we just talked about, or?
Yeah, we have some tweets coming in from the US. I guess we lost Europe due to the fact that those people are sleeping. Besides Liz, that is.
Yeah.
Of course. Unfortunately, and I'm still hoping to get somebody on the live link.
The open channel.
On the open channel. The open channel is very much open still. You know.
So if you're still with us, and we can see some of you are, go check out #ESOMARTV on Twitter. Click on the link, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I'll tweet out the link once more, because I'm 100% sure that there must be, you know, young students.
Maybe there are more Facebook people. Try to post it in the comments of the visual of this show on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Facebook.com/ESOMAR.
You should write a book on social media.
I should do something with that, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to go back on my table as well. It's still being filled, but I don't think you can swim this any longer. So we'll
no,
see,
I'm drowning a bit, so save me.
Yeah, all right, here we go. Because our table is being filled with the nominees of the Young Program Award. Welcome, everybody. I have to see if I think you're Corey Deutsch, right?
Yes.
You're a senior analyst at Skim in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Nadine Bailey, we've seen you before. First of all, because you won the pitch in the research rally, and we saw your face just on the ESOMAR ping. So you're very active all over this Congress. You're from Viacom here in the US. Then another familiar face that we see a lot around in this conference is Alex Wheatley. You're one of the innovation researchers at Lightspeed. You were part of the research rally as well, right? And you helped the teams actually to get some super quick research done. And now I have to make a little guess, but you're Thomas, I bet, right? Yeah, I did my Google homework. So Thomas Strock, you're a business director at Insight, also here in the US based, right? And you guys are all nominees in the Young Program Award. Who of you would like to explain to our viewers a little bit what exactly that is? Say yes. There you go, Alex.
So I think it's an initiative to get more young people into ESOMAR. So they're doing a series of presentations and a little prize award. I hear that it's a cash prize. I didn't realise that.
It's a cash prize, right? This is a real match.
Serious. I realised too late. I tried to poison them all, but it was kind of 10 minutes too late.
But how do you enter this competition? Is it just by submitting a paper and being under 30? Is that all you need to do?
Anyone can and should do it if they're under 30.
All right. Well, we got a young audience watching, so let's explore a little bit. What type of research are you doing? Corey, what did you present on stage? Could you summarize?
Sure. I worked with a team of 4 other young professionals at Skim, and we did a study using a new methodology that we have at Skim to learn about how millennials are disrupting the market and what brands can do to communicate with millennials in the face of all this new technology.
And in what way did you go about this? Did you do what methodology did you use?
We used our new unspoken methodology, which is it's a combination of implicit and rational decision making, and basically the respondents just swipe left or right on different ads, and then we use those results to see what types of ads would be most compelling to millennials versus non-millennials.
All right, so this is very radical and new from traditional question asking, right?
Yes.
Innovation here, young at the table.
Mm-hmm.
How is that for you, Nadine? What research did you submit?
I did a piece on how post-millennials will use YouTube in the future. It's quite a big area, but I try to focus it down on some specific things that were interesting in emerging trends. To do that, I did some just back to the basics, did some desk research, read 1 million papers, and and looked up a number of different result sets, data sets, and tried to pull it together myself and pick through the data to find some interesting stories. And I think I came out with some.
Yeah, and did you do this all by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, really? This was your own initiative on
Yeah,
project?
definitely.
Evening hours or?
Yeah, I took a week off work and just like cracked through loads of stuff, reading things.
Well, I get to the motivation for that in a second.
Yeah,
Just want to finish the round of what we have at the table. Alex, what did you submit?
So I submitted, as every Englishman talking at the moment is just talking about Brexit, and so it was no different. So I submitted a paper all about the EU referendum and talking about the polling of that and different means to measure the way an election is going and how to predict that. So.
And what research did you conduct to find this out?
So I work for Lightspeed, which is a panel company, so I have free access to thousands of people to take surveys. So I used a survey, but I tried some different means. So there was sort of polling in there, predictive methodology. We've actually been running a 2-year experiment looking to find people who are very good at predicting, and based upon, I don't know if you've heard of Nate Silver and the work of Philip Tetlock. And essentially it's looking for people who are very good at solving problems, and we've had a political panel that we've asking people to do that along a period of time. So I used that methodology, some emotional measures like implicit association tests, trying to see if there's anything other than a poll, because the polls keep getting it wrong in the UK.
Right. So you're adding methodology,
exactly.
stacking
it
right?
all together.
Yeah, validating
exactly.
together. How is that for you, Thomas? One second, I'm going to get you a new mic because your mic is... There you go. Just hold it like I'm doing.
So I was about to explore how we can make research deliverables more impactful. So by going beyond the traditional PowerPoint presentation, thinking about, okay, what happens if we think about research as a service by really adding a lot of kind of consulting and workshop around it in a study for Philips Sonicare. And that was good on some levels, but with room for improvement. So then after the study finished, we added a layer of experiential research delivery to see how we can really immerse the client in the end results by using virtual reality. So.
Okay, interesting. Now, we kind of touched on it with your story, Nadine. Obviously, writing and submitting a paper is not an easy task, right? It's not something you decide on Monday morning and you're done by Thursday afternoon. So I'm curious, what motivates you to actually make this effort and go after this talk? And probably some of you are going to be well rewarded, but you didn't know that when you got started, right? So what's the motivation here?
Well, I'm in a privileged position because essentially, like, I'm part of a little innovation team where that's pretty much all we do. Because we as a panel company, our panelists don't really want to take the surveys we do anymore. So we're there to try and make our clients do more interesting research so that the panelists will actually take it. So actually, writing papers is actually the 9 to 5 of my day to day.
It's pretty close to your job.
It's pretty handy. Yeah,
Like
I think everyone else
Thanks
is
for that. But Corey, how is that for you?
Yeah, I think just the opportunity to work on a new and innovative methodology with a team of other people from my company from around the world was something that was really exciting for me to be a part of. And so the different people on my team were based in our Rotterdam office, our London office, and I'm in the Atlanta office. So it was just a really cool opportunity to work with some of my colleagues from around the world while also helping to drive our new innovations forward.
And was this part of in-office hours or extra office hours?
A little bit of both.
All right, but your senior management did allow you guys and did allocate time for you guys to work on this?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's good news,
yes,
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And Nadine, how about you? Because you went on a journey on your own. What motivated you to embark on this?
I guess actually the complete opposite of you. It isn't my day-to-day to do presentations, to do insight pieces. And I think that's quite an important area of research, and I find it really interesting, and I thought this would be a really great opportunity to practice that and maybe find out some cool things and learn in the process. And I definitely did, so that was cool.
Nice. And Thomas, for you, what motivated you to go after this and actually submit a paper?
really kind of the opportunity to experiment and come up with something new. I think we always try to make every project the best project we've ever done. So after the project finishes, it's kind of good to think about, okay, what could we have changed, what could we have done better, and this was an opportunity to then actually test it out and share it. So.
And how was it about the support in your company? Was this?
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
No, but was it extra office, or did you actually get time allocated for this?
Most of it was actually on the project itself, and then afterwards there was I made a VR video, so that was in my own bathroom after office hours, but that makes total sense.
Yeah. And then you came out to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So tell for young professionals watching, considering, in doubt whether they should or should not do this, what is it like to be here?
Definitely
Nadine,
fun.
you're lighting up.
This is exciting, right? This is really cool. It's a great event. People should definitely try and come if they can. It's not always easy, but if you have the opportunity to, you should.
And what makes it so exciting?
Well, you're rubbing shoulders with the cream of the market research world, and also I think ESOMAR worked very hard to make it a fun event, and they've done very well at that.
Yeah. How's that for you, Corey? What is it like to be here in New Orleans?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just been awesome to be able to go to all these different presentations, learning from some of the leaders in the industry, and also just the opportunity to meet so many people from around the world and just hear about what people are doing.
And do you feel people and like the senior executives that walk around here, are they open for you?
Definitely, yeah.
Hello. And Alex, what is your experience?
It's been fantastic. New Orleans is a wonderful city, and the conference itself has been great to meet other people and sharing ideas and learn things to take back. And next year's Amsterdam, so that's going to be pretty good as well. So people should really submit.
Exactly. And Thomas, anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's great to see everything, and even if it's not directly kind of, okay, this is something I want to try, everything can be a source of inspiration. So it triggers your thinking.
And now, someone's watching. Either live or in the recording. You got them excited, right? You are very promotional about the experience here. You made clear that it's very useful to write a paper. What is your secret sauce? What tips would you give anyone considering to be the next nominee in the Young Program Award? Yeah. What are some of your learnings? Could you share some tips with us?
I think definitely planning ahead early on just to make sure that you stay on track. The time flew by a lot faster than I thought it would. And so, I mean, I think that Danica and all the other people that helped us from ESOMAR along the way definitely helped us stay on track, but it's good to keep the timeline in mind and stay on top of everything.
So make a planning before you start?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What is your best tip, Nadine?
I just say just put the work in, try your best. Be enthusiastic, and pays off, I guess.
Well, let me go a bit deeper on that. You did this on your own. Well, you talk a lot about a team effort. If you look back at it, is it easier just to do it on your own and not consider plannings and stuff, or would you next time work on a team?
So the way it was positioned in our company was such that it wasn't really. I didn't really realise that you could do this as a team.
No, but that's why I'm asking. Now looking back at this, thinking, because you could also say if you're alone, you don't have to coordinate with others. If you miss your planning, you just make up for it in your bathroom.
I think great minds produce great results together. So teamwork is definitely helpful. You're right though. Sure, I gained some timing things. I guess it depends on your preference. And I can't know what that experience is like, so I can't really say.
No, true. Alex, what is your hidden tip for our viewers?
Well, I'm an only child, so I work best alone, I think, and I don't plan, so then you need to be alone, otherwise other people get angry. I think my tip is just to do it, and not to be worried about what you're writing, because I'm constantly surprised, like, why the hell anyone wants to listen to what I'm saying? So just put it out there, and maybe someone wants to listen. It's worth a try. You never know unless you do it.
And if not, at least you have a learning experience for yourself.
You failed.
Yeah. And Thomas, for you? I heard you mention VR. Is that your hidden tip?
I think the hidden tip is follow your passions for me. So really do something where you believe in, where you want to explore, and then if it takes some extra personal time, it doesn't really matter because it's a passion of you. So
exactly. Then it doesn't feel so much as a chore, right? Great. Well, the whole thing is being reconstructed in here, but hopefully our viewers don't have too much to bother with that. Well, I wish you a lot of luck You all presented last Monday on Channel 1, so if you're watching the recording, go back and find the session on Channel 1 on Monday. And then tonight at the gala dinner, as the big award handed out. Just the last question, what are you going to do if you win?
Definitely go out and celebrate with my team.
But do you have an idea for that money, where to spend it on?
Oh, the money?
Or?
I actually didn't know there was a cash prize until 2 days ago. So no, I don't have
no
any
plans for that.
No plans.
Nadine, if you win, what are you going to do?
I don't think I'd get to keep it myself.
I
think we're going to like team lunch it or something.
Well, nice.
I guess.
Well, I bet your teammates are happy to see
I'm
that.
sure
to
they
go on
will.
the record. Alex, for you, what do you do if you
I was
win?
going to say that, but no, I'm not. Yeah, I think there's actually quite a lot of pressure on me to buy maybe an engagement ring, so it might go around that way.
Oh, nice.
Exactly.
Nice little
Come in
confession.
handy.
Love it when the cameras are on. And Thomas, if you win, what are you going to do?
Probably invested in some more innovation, maybe some more tools to play around with and to explore.
Cool. Well, thanks. I guess they're all 4 very exciting research, very exciting projects. I'm glad I'm not the jury, and I wish you all the best in your career. Last check, are you all a member of the Young ESOMAR Society already?
Yeah.
You are? All right, cool. Well, it's a great endorsement because that's what we started the show with. Good luck, have fun at the conference. And we talked a lot about the Yes competition here on this table already. And as promised, all of the 8 competition contributors will be here in the studio to tell a little bit more about their story. And the next one up is actually Liz Miller. So let's look at her pitch first.
What kind of story makes you stop and say, wow? One that's compelling, but also validated. The Arab Spring proved to the world that a fundamental shift had taken place in how we view and use news. That was nearly 6 years ago, but in a moment, the global community was bombarded with an unprecedented amount of content from social and traditional channels. A new kind of story emerged, leaving the single narrative of the 6 o'clock news behind. Today, 6 years later, this story is stronger than ever. Brexit, the U.S. presidential election, the Rio Olympics, and the waves of police-involved shootings in the U.S. all demonstrate the same theme. Today's consumers crave to hear the story from different voices. Protesters on the ground, experts commenting from afar, live tweets and videos from YouTube, Facebook Live, or Snapchat. What does this mean for your story? The value of a multi-perspective, multi-methodology approach has never been clearer. A single narrative often neglects to paint the entire picture. For a story that speaks the most truth and draws the most wows, multiple voices must be heard.
And here we're back live in the studio where I'm now joined in real life by Liz Miller. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you so much.
You are a business development manager at Euromonitor International.
That's correct,
and,
yes.
You just came out to Congress, I understand?
Yes.
You whispered in my ear, I've been up since 3:30, so I bet you flew out this morning only, right?
No, I didn't. No, I just woke up. I just woke up, and I don't even have jet lag to blame for it.
That's weird, that's weird. It must be the nerves, right, of finding out whether you were one of the finalists.
I think it was just that I was so excited.
Exactly.
I just could hardly contain myself,
Exactly.
you know?
So yesterday you guys did this similar pitch on stage. How did it go?
It went well. It was great. Yeah, really fun audience. I think everybody did a great job with their pitches.
And you want us to embrace new media.
Mm-hmm.
But who specifically are you targeting this message at?
Well, you know, I mostly am working with media, entertainment, and social media clients. So I think the theme of my message is really that when you're trying to understand a complex group of people, which for many of my clients is the ever-elusive millennials, you have to look at how they consume and use media. You know, Euromonitor has some fairly traditional market research methodologies. We've been around for over 40 years. So my message to the clients is, you know, how can we really integrate multiple methodologies, the consumer surveys, the online bulletin boards, with some of these still very important components like, you know, industry research, just sizing the market, macroeconomic insights and socio-demographic information. Like, how can we really make these things sync together?
And stack them up, basically, as
Exactly,
methodologies.
exactly, and make them consistent. So, like, one of the things I share in my Pecha Kucha is that, you know, through some of the survey work that Euromonitor has done, we have found that, like, above all, American consumers want their food to be natural. That's the most important thing, like above price, above flavor, everything. They say they want their food to be natural. Yet, when we look at the food
Behavior
categories,
and what they buy, and yeah.
processed meats is like the fastest growing food category over the next 5 years, followed by cakes and pastries. Sure, you can have like a natural processed meat, but it doesn't seem to quite add up, right? So when you're looking at a complex research question and you're trying to pull in all of these different pieces, whether it's social media, consumer survey, macro insights, you're trying to understand a complex consumer and all of the different things that influence them and their loyalty and all of that. You have to make sure that you're putting those pieces together in a way that's consistent and complementary, not just kind of like taking random surveys and random industry information and mashing them together and saying like, well, that's a story. It won't be a story.
Exactly. So it's all about validating the story.
Exactly.
Have you implemented this in your own work currently already?
Oh, absolutely. I think.
What are the results you see?
I think that it's about consistency, and again, validation is really a great word as well. We've done a huge project with Twitter, actually. This was one of the larger projects that I worked on this past year throughout the holiday shopping season. We incorporated 3 different methodologies throughout the holiday season. I've seen a lot of companies do similar research where they ended up having a story that felt kind of like broken and inconsistent, and there were places where the story kind of like didn't make sense. They ended up with a result that was extremely compelling because they were using these 3 methodologies like in conjunction and not as separate projects that didn't speak to each other.
But you're saying Twitter was the client here?
Twitter was the client,
Because
yes.
we talked earlier today of making this industry attractive, and we should make the big brands are sexy. So tell a little bit, if you can, disclose anything about that. What was their research question? What did you do for them?
The research question came down to the holiday shopping experience. And
yes,
so that
for Twitter. How are they involved in that?
They care because one of their largest advertising client sectors is retailers.
Ah, okay.
And so they want to, show to those retailers that when you invest with Twitter in holiday advertising, it's a good investment, and that those advertisements can actually really impact consumer decisions. We found some amazing stories from that research, combining the qual and the quant.
What? Like what was something you didn't expect? Yeah.
One story. This was a person who, this is mostly from the qualitative online bulletin board, but like one thing that I didn't expect, this one shopper, we were following shoppers from like the pre-Black Friday, this huge thing in the U.S., pre-Black Friday all the way through to like the end of January. This person like found the product their nephew was interested in by following him on Twitter, researched the entire product via Twitter, found a great deal, and then they felt really, really good in January after Christmas had passed when they saw their nephew like post with the product. Yeah, and they were like, oh, look at my new camera, So it was really nice to see some of those stories come out, and in the places where the quant and the qual kind of like fed into each other, plus the retail case studies that we did. I think we were all really excited about the entire thing. It was just great results.
Well, great story. Thank you very much. And I think it's also a great advertisement for young people considering going in the market research industry, that this is the type of stuff you could do, right?
It's a fun world to be in, absolutely.
Cool. Finally, what is it like to be here in New Orleans at ESOMAR Congress? I mean, the Yes competition gave you a chance to go in?
Yeah, it's been a real blast. I think market research people know how to have fun, and New Orleans is a great place to do it. So it's been like a great balance of learning and fun.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for sharing your
Thank
story.
you so much.
And I hope you submit more Yes competition pitches, or maybe even a paper, so we see you back in Amsterdam next year.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
And talking so much about Twitter as a client and as a case, why not quickly check in? And I know he's going to hate me for it, because we've seen that in the afternoons the Twitter activity kind of goes down. But obviously, hashtag ESOMARTV on Twitter and Instagram is the place where you can interact with us. Marcel, you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes. Good afternoon.
What's happening online at the moment?
Well, if the guys can show my screen, we actually have some nice Twitter action, I would say. We have the people from the ESOMAR office, Biddy, tweeting out that he's proud on his colleagues being on ESOMAR TV, like we were and are still. I want to give a virtual shout out to Ra Sharma. I think he's one of the most colorful people running around at ESOMAR, especially because he's posting these lovely pictures every day, showing off his famous clothing style, I would say. But love that. So just wanted to share that with our viewers.
Cool.
And then Julia will be happy to see that Rachel, who was also in the Yes pitch, uploaded a video herself answering and raising a question on sustainability and who's responsible. Companies versus millennials. So that's indeed a continuing story, I would say. That's actually my little 10 cents at the moment.
Marcel, while sharing your screen, I noticed in the top right corner there is a famous English lady with a headset in the top right. So maybe you should put her full screen.
I will.
Because that's actually, for our viewers, that's Liz Norman from E&I Recruitment in London. Hi Liz, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, although it's very late.
Yeah, what time is it in the UK at the moment, just to make us aware?
It's 9:45 in
A
the
quarter
evening.
to 10. Ah, and you're still in the office?
I'm still in the office, yeah. It would be okay if I was in the pub, but it's late to be in the office.
Well, and the reason you're there, it's because you're going to take partake in this now truly global and very linked panel discussion about the skills we need to be a top researcher in the near future. And I'm joined by three very distinguished guests that should know all about that. On my right is Michael Aliotto. You're the adjunct associate professor at the Walsh College of Business. And you know a lot, obviously, you're very close to the student body over there.
Yes.
Next to you is Nihat Mohammed Bailey. Do I say that correctly?
Almost got it.
Almost.
Almost got it.
You're a research analyst at Skim in the Netherlands. Obviously, you're pretty young in the market research industry.
Yes.
And on the far right is a familiar face by now on Channel 3, Julia Gasperi. Welcome back. Because obviously you're also one of the young and dynamic entities that we have here in this body. Now, before we ask you your take on the future skills we need, I'd say we first go to Liz to make sure that we all have our connections up and working. Liz, when we spoke briefly last week, you had some quick stats about the current job listings up. You could list me some numbers of what people are actually looking for in the recruitment world. Could you draw those up again?
Yep. I had a look at Indeed, which is a site that just collates all the advertised jobs. And when we spoke on the 8th of September, there were 9,798 data science roles advertised. There were just 645 qualitative roles, and those included UX and digital qual, and 944 quantitative roles. I had another look at it again yesterday, and it also gives you the average salary. So the average salary, it reckons, for a market researcher in the UK is 28,122. And the average salary for a data scientist is 54,270, which just indicates the shortage there is of people with statistical and data science skills within the industry.
So let's kick in an open door. If I then ask you, Liz, what are the skills someone needs to be a top researcher in 2017? What would be your answer to that?
Well, if they want to be a data scientist and earn lots of money, then they need to be good statisticians, very good at detail, but also have the ability to add strategy and insight to that data. But to be honest, the range of skills is massive. You could work in videoing, you could interview people like you. You could be doing something like UX. I think that's what makes it so interesting, in that there's just a vast array of skills now needed, many of them technical, many of them using new digital techniques, but we still need the old skills, people that can moderate groups and things as well. So it's a huge range.
So basically what I hear you saying is in order to be a top researcher, you need to be a Superman or a Superwoman, right? You need to do a little bit of everything.
Well, no, you don't actually have to be a data scientist and a UX person and a qualitative researcher and an insight professional at the same time. But it's certainly knowing a little bit about all of them really helps. And then deciding which one is the one that suits you best, because that's the one you're going to excel in.
All right. Well, let's take that back to our panel here. Liz, stay with us, and if you have any comments, just jump in. We'll see how that works live. Professor Alioto, if I ask you the same question, what is the top skill that your students should need to be a top researcher next year?
I think Liz has captured it very well. I think our drive to learn more about the consumer and to focus on the consumer, as well as the issue of change in the marketplace, has required a whole mess of new skills that we've never had in the past. So everything from moderating to psychology to data is all being looked upon, because that's the way we are understanding the holistic nature of our consumer itself. And so one of the things that we talk about students about is to having a very, very wide breadth of knowledge before you specialize in a certain area and a certain thing.
Before you specialize, you say, because you do believe that people at some point should specialize.
I think you have to almost specialize at some point. You have to have a little knowledge of a lot of different things, but sooner or later you have to become an expert in one area to help your career and also help lead the organization you're with forward.
Well, let's explore that a little deeper in a second, because what specialization is key. We'll dive into that.
Okay.
Nia, what is your educational background?
I did Masters in Marketing Management in Rotterdam, and Bachelor's was International Business Administration. So, and I think during the Masters, I found the passion for the data analysis.
Because explain to our viewers a little bit. We got a lot of students watching probably. What is that passion? What is so exciting about market research?
For sure, numbers. During my bachelor's, I was called that I'm a bit weird because I really loved SPSS, and I really liked enjoying.
Which is a Dutch TV channel and not in the top 3, right? Yeah.
No.
Oh, SPSS. I thought you mentioned SPSS.
No.
You mean the statistical program, right?
Exactly,
You're a stat geek. Yeah.
So, and then during my masters, we started using it more deep and not just clicking buttons, but understanding what's behind it, and that was really driving me to applying for data analysis. And then it just happened thanks to my professors who managed to show me what market research is.
And how long have you been now working in this industry?
Just 11 months.
Exactly. And how do you find it?
Oh,
Almost first year coming up, yeah?
Fantastic, yeah. I don't know, it's a great opportunity to be here just after 11 months.
Yeah, by the way, what brought you here? How did you end up at the ESOMAR Congress after 11 months in your job?
Well, I'm part of the Corporate Use Program.
Yeah.
And I was presenting yesterday our project together with Corey and Patricia about how millennials perceive different type of visualizations comparing to non-millennials.
Wow. So you got quite a launch, right? In your first year, you're already submitting a paper and being invited to talk.
Yes, indeed.
Julia,
yes.
Besides being able to quickly record videos on your mobile phone and post them to Instagram, what other top skill do we need to be a top researcher?
Not much, no, just kidding.
That's kind of key, right? Storytelling, yeah.
I think just to, touch upon what Liz and everyone else has already shared, I think if we take it one level higher and look at fundamental kind of drivers and skill sets, I think curiosity is a very important one. So really having that innate ability to constantly be curious and constantly explore new opportunities. Another one that I believe also touches upon the opportunity of exploring a breadth of skills is to be agile and to really be able to take a skill set or start somewhere, because we all have to start somewhere, and kind of take that journey across different types of opportunities as opportunities arise. And agility can be horizontal, it can be international, it can be vertical, it can have any type of dimension that you would want to put on it. So those are definitely two elements that I would look for.
So curiosity and broadening. Now, let's try to make that practical. Because it's easy to claim here, but how do you do that? You are in love with SPSS. You're a stat geek. Are you making yourself broadly educated? What are you doing to broaden?
Just to correct myself, like SPSS is not market research.
I know.
Market research
It's
is
a
much
tool.
more
It's
than
a tool, of course.
We don't really use SPSS much, but what I do, I really like client management, and from being the statistical geek, I moved more into being more extrovert and talking to clients, and that's a new passion that I found during my work.
All right, so that's the first broadening step, I guess.
Exactly.
But what I mean is, should we actively be permanently educating? And for example, is the university facilitating that? Are you pulling us back after we graduated, or what is your vision on that?
Well, I think that the issue of constantly broadening and constantly being curious are very important things for us to do. At one time, at least in the United States, in the university, we taught a very narrow business model of marketing research. It was focused on quantitative and qualitative, and it was very traditional in its approach, business management, etc. Now, we've actually entered into the curriculum things such as neuromarketing, things around psychology, issues about big data, and so we're teaching the students earlier to get into this as well. I think the paper this morning, or yesterday morning if I remember, from the Wharton professor who talked about some of the newer things that are out there that a lot of us in the practitioner field are still not doing yet. We need to move that earlier into the field and teach students earlier about these things. Gamification, using of videos, pictures, all these things that we're looking at to better understand the consumer and get closer to the consumer, especially with all the change going on, especially around a technological change. The earlier we can do this, the better we're going to be. So the business model is constantly being modified, and we're constantly learning from other cross-disciplines and cross-cultural areas as well.
To back up just what Michael was saying, I think that another sort of trait that people are looking for is creativity. And innovation and the ability to come up with new ways of looking at things. I absolutely agree, curiosity and agility are important, but also the ability to just sort of think about things in a new way, be creative about it.
Now, Liz, from your experience with as a recruitment agency globally, we talk about broadening, we talk about generalists, yet there's also more and more, in some areas, in other industries, we need specialists. What is your experience about the generalist versus specialist needs when actually hiring and recruiting?
Well, I think to have, as I say, a broad understanding of things is important, and curiosity and looking at a range of different things, but ultimately there are specialist skills that are needed, and I think that most people do end up having to specialise. Going back to an earlier point you were looking at, what are people looking for to show that people are curious, that they have that breadth of, or they want that breadth of information. Often in interviews people are asked for passions outside work. People want to see people that, do have breadth, that are interested in music or sport or just something that, shows that curiosity, that passion, that breadth, and creativity often as well.
So basically what you're saying here as a tip to our younger audience, it's all about resume building and not so much about just getting good grades in school, but also about the extracurricular activities, I guess.
I think that helps. I genuinely do.
I would definitely say that grades is not the biggest rating when recruiter is looking at. It's more what you did besides studying and what other activities you did. In my case, I didn't have any work experience when I finished my studies. So I did only one internship and then I applied for the job. But what I did during studies was other activities. And
what kind of stuff did you do on the side of your studies?
More social stuff, like ambassador of the faculty, more like exchange body for the newcomers, also organizing different events for two different student organizations. And I would say being flexible is definitely one of the skills that nowadays and in the future is needed to be a good research analyst.
Yeah, and conversely also, I love the point that Liz was making about, integrating creativity. I think there is also another element, and kind of reversing the conversation a little bit, is for, our audiences who are looking for a job, who are currently finding something. Try to also challenge the employer to give you opportunities.
I see the professor nodding very heavily.
Try to challenge, because, and that's something that I've had the luck to have at Insights Consulting, actually. I started as a social listening analyst and then moved into quant research because I asked for it and because there was the opportunity. And when we then expanded into the US, I had the opportunity to earn qualitative skills as well because there was the opportunity, and because believing in the people that you're working with as humans is one of the key assets that a recruiter can have.
Wow. This is a very good point, because I think there's a couple things that we should talk about for the young people to think about. You asked about what happens to them. The university is only one part of their life.
Yeah.
They're always going to learn, they're always
Yes.
going to think. When I have a project, a university project at a graduate level, I tell my students, challenge me. I'm going to give you the assignment,
Great.
but I don't know everything there is to know. We have to continuously repurpose ourselves and learn because it's such a dynamic world.
Yeah.
If they learn anything else in the world is to be creative, innovative, and challenging, that to me is an A student. Dates,
Sure.
facts, you can always learn those. And those become out of date on a constant basis. But teaching people to be challenging, teaching them to think, teaching them to learn, teaching them to be innovative, and to challenge the status quo, I think that's a very
Justice.
good, a very good
Wow.
thing.
Sure.
Very good thing. And one other thing I was thinking of from the Congress today and all of our discussions, we have a unique opportunity to bring together the clients, the university, the agencies, and ESOMAR to work on some of these problems or some of the areas we should be into. And we need everybody. We need the young people, we need the old, we need the educated, we need the learning, because that's how we're going to get ahead. Not one person has the answers, and it takes a village or it takes a world to move us forward.
Exactly, and I think what we're stating here is not only applicable to students, right? Because I'm just thinking we're extremely raising the bar. It's not just making it to graduation, but now you have to broaden extracurricular. You have to be curious and all these kind of skills, and you have to make ASMR ping videos. So that's quite a list. But I think this powerful and can be applied to slightly older people in the profession as well, right? This counts for everybody. These are key values, I guess, that this industry needs.
I'll have to let you know when I get older.
I think it's more than key things that the industry needs. It's actually one of the reasons that people stay in the industry. They love the fact that it allows them to be curious. They love the innovation and the variety and the challenges that presents. That's why people are in our industry. It has a lot to offer.
Just a small addition, I would say, don't only challenge your employer, but also challenge yourself.
Exactly.
To get outside of the box.
Yes.
Keep challenging.
Exactly, out of the comfort zone. Otherwise, you will never grow and always be in one place.
Well, to give you a little challenge, have you recorded an ASMR ping video already?
No.
Okay, talk to Julia. I'll challenge you for that.
We already talked about it.
Michael, Nijat, Julia, and Liz in London, thank you very much for sharing these with us. I think you compiled a great list of values to be a top researcher in 2017. And let's make a date and catch up in Amsterdam and see how this develops over the course of the years.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so much.
Thank you.
Now, another future top researchers that might be walking around here at SMR Congress is about to enter the studio, because if you have been keeping count, then we have presented quite some yes pitches with you already, and we're now at 7. That means we have 1 left, and I don't know, serendipity is at hand, I guess, because the last one standing is actually one of the 2 finalists that is going to present in about 1.5 hours on Channel 1. So I'm very proud to introduce the yes pitch of Emma Kirk, which is all about doing research in the only truly global language. Have a look.
Did you know that 4 in 5 18 to 65-year-olds use emojis on a regular basis? And on top of that, around 6 billion emojis are used every single day. Because emojis are the first truly global language. They spark imagination and inspiration, but also controversy and debate. But they are absolutely an undeniable, powerful force of communication. So my point as a young researcher is, how can we expect people to be communicating with us about how they feel and what they think if we're not giving them a means to communicate on their terms? We can't. So with some pushing from myself and the other millennials across Join the Dots, we've been working hard with our innovations team to get an idea across where we make an emoji tool to give consumers a way of communicating with us in a way that we know is now a fundamental way in which they communicate with each other and the world on a daily basis. So my SMR presentation would focus on why I think this is a great idea, the challenges that we're facing in its development, but also how important it could be and how we'd look to interpret the outcomes of this. We really think that this presentation would be #wow.
#wow. And here she is live in the studio. Emma Kirk, welcome.
Hello.
Here.
Thank you.
You're a business developer at Join the Dots.
Yes, absolutely.
And you responded to the call to action to submit a yes video.
Yes, I did.
This is all about research in a truly global language, namely using emoticons.
Yeah.
How did you come up with this methodology?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really stems from the ethos at Join the Dots around sort of people-centered research. So we about creating market research.
1 second, I think your mic is slamming. Can I get a hand out? Because we do want to hear what you have to say,
Okay.
right? You're one of our winners. Go ahead,
working?
talk in this one.
Yeah.
You have a fancy one, just like me.
Okay, fantastic.
So how did you come up with this methodology?
Okay, so again, it sort of stems back to the ethos of Join the Dots, which is around people-centered research. So we talk about needing to make research that people actually want to engage with and can engage with in a sort of contemporary market. So we look at different ways people are using digital, ways that people are using social media. And being a millennial, there's been a lot of talk of that the past few days. I really felt that by not embracing the new culture of emoji use, we weren't doing ourselves justice in really being truly people-centered and giving people the option to engage with us using emojis the same way they do with their friends and with brands.
And where can this be applied?
In any sort of context, really. I mean, I don't want to give a spoiler. I'll go on to talk about this
in
my
because this video goes viral on the
it's
internet
separate.
anyway.
Okay.
So give us some spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, we've already started to use this with some clients actually. So, say for example, a client's in the creative testing phase of a new online advert, or even just a static ad. We might say to somebody, if you were going to share this content on social media with your friends, which emojis would you use? And why would you use them? And then we can really get a feeling for their emotional sentiment to that video, but also the sort of strength of feeling. The same way, you might see a video from your favorite TV show and you might tweet lots of hearts or a crying face or a laughing face. And we're just really trying to replicate that in terms of our research.
But I can imagine the difficulty here being then, okay, I respond with emotions. I use emoticons because I don't have to externalize or put in words what I feel. And now you're actually trying to translate that back to human language.
Yes.
How does that work? How are you so certain that works?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, with any market research. I think there's always an element of interpretation that's subjective, whether it be from numbers, from words, from images in this case. So I think it's fair to say we always adopt a mixed method approach. It's not like we would ever do an entire study and just, rely on emoji use. That wouldn't be given a full picture. The past few days we've heard a lot about mixing qual and quant, and so we would use it in combination with a variety of other question tools, but it certainly gives us an indication of where strength of feeling lies on sort of emotional sentiment to content. So I think it has a place. We're very much still learning in this area. It's quite new, but we're excited to see where it goes.
Now, out of curiosity, do you see any cultural differences in the use of emoticons? I mean, is emoticons truly a global language, or do you have varieties?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We at Join the Dots haven't yet done any sort of global studies yet using them. But it's widely sort of reported that there are cultural differences between use. And again, I'll come on to that in my presentation. So Twitter did an analysis this year of the top tweeted emojis across the globe. Largely we see universal emojis, so the most common across the world is the face with tears of joy, it's called, so you'll know the one, it's crying, it's laughing,
It's replacing LOL, right?
Exactly, yeah, so that's commonly used across all countries, and the heart, the red heart, very much unanimously used, probably positive to know it's used more than the broken heart,
so
that's
nice.
It's nice, right? It's a good message to send. But it's interesting, we do see some specifics. So in South America, the music notes, that's most widely used emoji. That's one of the ones that they use more commonly than any other countries. There's some very stereotypical use as well. So Australians use the beer emoji up to twice more than other cultures. And Canadians seem to love the poop. So I don't know what that says about those guys, but there are definitely differences to investigate.
Well, a very interesting area to dive deeper in. This year you got the Congress with the Yes Competition pitch. I'd invite you to go deeper into this, write a paper next year, and make sure you make it to Amsterdam, right?
Yes, I'd love to, Thank you.
All right. Well, good luck preparing.
Thank
Pecha
you.
Kucha is a very hard format, right? 20 slides, 20 seconds?
Yeah, I believe so.
Have you been rehearsing?
I have been rehearsing, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. We only found out, of course, yesterday evening who was going to be presenting today, so we've not had long to prepare. So I'll do my best.
All right. Well, let me invite all our viewers that will be at 5:30 New Orleans time on Channel 1, right? So, well, Emma, thanks for being with us, and I'm looking forward to your talk.
Great. Thank you. Thank
you.
you.
And with that, Emma was our 89th guest here in the studio at Channel 3. And we did 7 shows over the course of 2 days. We made over 560 minutes of live video content for you. And when I say 89, to add the numbers all up, we need 90 guests in the studio to round this up. So here's my last and final guest. We've seen him before, so that's a double count. I should go back to 85,
exactly.
right? We saw you at least 5 times. But back here is Finn Raven, the Director General of ESOMAR. Finn,
yes,
you're about 15 minutes before your closing remark, or before your award remarks in the other room.
That's right.
We're kind of on the schedule. But let's reflect a little bit. We're on the end of day 2 of Congress. Well,
yes.
You could say the middle, because we have the whole award
There's a
dinner
little
coming.
bit to go yet, yes.
What are your first feelings and reactions to this conference?
As always, Gert, I'm amazed at just simply the quality of the presentations that are made. You made reference there to the young professionals, the Yes Society. I mean, those guys on stage yesterday blew me away. You know, their 1-minute pitches were fantastic. The corporate youth program and the 4 presentations that they made, and one of them's winning an award tonight as well, were just great. And I just think the vibe and the fact that more younger generation are here, the exhibitors and the exhibition.
Yeah, we have a buzzing exhibiting floor, right?
It's great. It really is great. Cool. I mean, who knows when we started this in Dublin last year that we would have hit these kind of levels. Now,
exactly.
A lot of it, by the way, is thanks to you guys, because you really do a hell of a show.
We do our best. It's a team effort. Let's look a little bit forward to next year, because I've been mentioning quite a lot in my openings. This is the 69th anniversary, or 69th Congress of ESOMAR.
Yep.
Means next year we have an anniversary.
We have an anniversary, which is why I have the grey hair, to suit the anniversary. Yes, it'll be our 70th, and looking forward to it, I have to say. One of the things that we've been really working very hard on over the last couple of years is shouting out about market research, all the good things that it does. I think too often we get criticised for the mistakes we made without shouting loud enough about the wonderful things you do. And you remember in Dublin we had this thing called I'm a proud market researcher.
Yeah, remember.
Well, hashtag I'm a proud market researcher. We do some really fabulous stuff, and all the presentations inside prove that. So next year will be a real celebration of all the good things that we've done and all the great things that we're going to be doing in the next 70 years, I hope.
Because next year is Amsterdam.
Yep.
Do we know the dates already?
I don't know the exact dates. I think it's around about the same
this
as
time,
this.
right?
Yeah, so
Amsterdam. Now, we have a nice little clip for you to watch to actually excite you a little bit about what it's like to be in Amsterdam. New Orleans is nice. Amsterdam is great, a lot of fun too. But before we start that clip, Finn, is there anything else you want to add?
Absolutely not, but thanks anyway.
Let's have a look. Amsterdam 2017.
People from all over the world have nominated a friend to celebrate their birthday
together with our king.
Hi, my name is Maya, and my boyfriend Ace is born on the 27th of April.
黄黄是4月27号生的。
Minha melhor amiga Raquel nasceu no dia 27 de abril.
My mate Thomas is born on the 27th of April. And so is our king.
And now it's time to surprise the lucky ones.
Hello, Raquel.
Hello, Mr. Huang.
You are born on the 27th of April, right? Sorry.
I have a very big surprise for you.
Ticket to celebrate Koningsdag.
On behalf of Koningsdag,
I invite you to come and celebrate your birthday in Holland.
you are going to Amsterdam.
Together with your friends.
Birthday class. We would like to teach you some typical Dutch games. Okay, look at this. Right? Let's take this party to the next level!
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for one of the greatest DJs in the world, Martin Garrix.
my life.
Anything added to the party, that was it. Amazing.
And with that, we come to the official end of Channel 3 on SMR TV 2016. And not without giving a great round of applause for Angela Kanan, the big editor-in-chief about all the content you saw. Our team behind the scenes, our runners, Marcel van Overveld, our social media moderator. Obviously, all the exhibitors around that had to deal with this and cope with us. And of course, we couldn't have done it without our cameraman behind the camera, without our production team, Yuri, our director, Sander, our assistant director, and Roy, our audio guy, and you as our online audience. You were great. We'd love to have you with us again back in Amsterdam 2017, online or physically. My name is Gerrit Heikoop, and thank you very much for watching.